Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukkake, your host. Our heroes are making the best of the mixed hand that hell has been dealing them. While Quinny and Reginald were off dealing with their new lawyer, Butthole, Juniper, and Moonhammer were forced to battle across the plains of Avernus alongside Maude, Buggins, and Werner Ragnarok. What will happen now that all of our heroes are finally reunited? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
It was one thing when you died, Quinny, because you knew you were fine. And yeah, sure, Manny broke you down at like a genetic level and recombined you a few times in excruciating agony, but you still knew you existed, and you knew that somewhere out there, Butthole and Alan and Goblin Jr. were still doing their thing, and that brought you a great deal of solace. But the death of Butthole was something different. It was an act that you did everything in your power to prevent, but couldn't. It came with a responsibility you never wanted, but that you rose to accept. And it has caused a fairly fundamental shift in your life in terms of how you view your role in the world and what you do. And also when Alan reached out to him and couldn't contact him, I think as someone who doesn't really put much stake in the afterlife of any sort, really, despite having been in hell, that seemed like it was probably about it. That he would live on kind of in your hearts and minds, but not in your presence. And yet, stepping through this portal, he's Butthole, and it looks like he's alive.
I can't move. I'm frozen in place. Is it the Butthole that I know? Like my friend, last time I thought I saw this guy coming over the horizon, it was Reginald from another dimension.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this is Butthole in like Wonder Woman 84 gold armor.
I can't move. I can't think. I'm just looking at this guy.
Well, I'm gonna scoop him up in a big old hug, and then I'm gonna kiss him on the mouth, just tongue to tooth, baby. I miss him so much.
And I think everything is like rigid and tight, all of Quinny's muscles. So he just picks him up almost like picking up like a statue. And pressing his you said tongue to tooth. I like that. That's really funny. Like worming his tongue against like Quinny's like pursed lips. And then I think Quinny like relaxes a bit, like, oh no, this is definitely the same fucking guy. And the arms kind of come up to embrace, but also the head is like now turning, like when you come home and your dog is really happy to see you, and just he's trying to get up in that mouth and like slobber, and it's just like you got to strategically turn your head away and stuff like that, and that's how this embrace goes, I think.
Yeah, I think and Butthole like end the kiss after that's done, but he won't put Quinny back down. He's like, okay, you and I can talk from right here, because I missed you so much, and I had to watch a weird Western you die, and I did not like it.
I just imagine you like holding him up on your hip.
Yeah, that's it. That's where Quinny is. Only talking to him, to be clear, he's not infantilizing him at all. He just wants to have him like close.
Yeah. Quinny like is like using like the back of his hand in his form to like wipe the slobber off his face, but also discreetly wiping like a single tear out of like his good eye. Be like, I missed you too.
Yeah. So what's up with your Reginald though? Because this is fucking creepy.
At which point like, you lock eyes with Reginald, who is standing over Quinny's shoulder.
I think Reginald, who's just looking confused as shit, because Reginald, Butthole didn't say his own name. It doesn't know who this is. So Reginald's wondering if another version of him just made out with you. And now this version has a hammer. And Reginald's like, okay, do you know what? If you two are in love, you can have him. I'm not going to fight you for him, other me.
Reginald, this is Butthole Farch. This is Reginald Tingler from a world where you never existed. A world where we didn't stop the Black Spider.
Okay, but does that mean like super murdery? Like the one that killed you? Like, do I and Butthole's just like his eyes are flitting down to the hammer in his hands, like looking to Reginald.
This one saved me. in point of fact, a couple times.
And Juniper rolls up just to say, like, yeah, he's been really helpful. Hi, Quinny. Hi, Reginald.
Juniper? Just like,
Oh, wow.
down out of like Butthole's arms and like give Juniper a big hug too.
Yep.
That's a cool chair. Wait. So the one we had, the Reginald, was murdery and a real son of a bitch, and he took a lot of drugs, and we had to murder him because he sucked, and then I killed his shade in hell. But this one is from an evil world surrounded by overlords, but turned out maybe kind of decent.
Working on it. We're both kind of working on being better. A mutual agreement to do better.
Yeah, I prefer the term coward in recovery. That's really where I'm coming from. Did some bad things, might do them again in future, but trying to do better. Oh my God. Butthole just says to himself where he's standing, there's a version of Reginald who wants to be better, but is a coward, but is dark, but wants to do better. And it sounds like what he needs is a brother. You're the Reginald I always wanted. And he's just going to run forward and hug Reginald. Because I will say the idea that he could possibly like save or redeem Reginald was one of his like driving focuses of his whole life until Reginald murdered Quinny. So this is like, I got my Quinny and I got my Reggie and I got my Moonhammer. Mooney Reggie Quinny, Mooney Reggie Quinny.
And as you squeeze Reginald, the hilt of the sun scythe falls off his belt and rolls across the floor and just kind of bumps up against your foot, Moonhammer. Speaking of brothers.
I reach down and pick up the sun scythe, and I can speak to my brother now. Yeah.
You also have the power to set him free. All you need to do is break it over your knee.
Okay, perfect.
So holding this sacred icon, this powerful weapon, what do you do?
Well, I guess I'm going to talk to him, let him know that, hey, get ready. You're coming back, bro.
Yeah. We both loved CSI Miami. You smash the hilt, and there's just a blast of blinding golden light. And Sunscythe stumbles out of it. And he's a spitting image of you. Not as veiny. He hasn't been through hell, but also like kind of wearing like the male pattern of like Valkyrie armor that you would have had in your idealized form. However, he does have an ethereal glow because he is still technically a living god as opposed to you. And with his blade and scythe hands, he just blade and sickle hands, he just like looks at you just with that like glimmer in his eye that he always got. You knew he always looked up to you. And he just says, Moonhammer, I'll never let you down again. Who do you need me to kill?
Well, we need to first of all kill. Wait, brother, come on, bring it in. Can we go in for like a good hug first?
I wasn't sure I'd earned one, but yes.
Okay.
And so he runs over.
Like, the most awkward hug ever because we have like
hammers and scythes and sickles. Like you're just like slashing things up around you. Like your back is getting cut.
The awkwardly placed wide is of these spinning hugs, one of which is just a slaughter of weapons hitting each other, and the other of which is Butthole sobbing and holding someone who's clearly uncomfortable and does not know what is happening.
And like Quinny hugging Juniper, who is also alive.
Yeah.
There's been a surprising amount of returns.
Oh my God, Moonhammer, is this your brother? Okay, hello. I'm going to guess that your thing is piss. Am I right?
Ah, you got me. Yeah, that's what I do. We're two sides of the same coin.
I knew it because farts come before poo and piss comes before jizz. It adds up.
Oh, God.
Wow. I hadn't considered
wow.
that. That is a bridge too far. You hang out with, and he turns to Reginald. He's like, this guy is your brother? He's a lot.
I don't know. If he was from another dimension, I mean, is he really my brother? Oh, I'm your brother. Don't you worry about it, man. This is going to be so fun. So you don't actually have to die while I'm around.
This kind of makes a bit of sense, though, right? Because like, Butthole, right? You hang out with my sister Moonhammer. And me, Sunset, I hang out with your brother Reginald. It's like we each have a god.
This is so. Is this Moonhammer armor? And he just points at Reginald's like spooky, vaguely silvery armor because he's like, hey, do we get him the equivalent of this? Because I feel like matching outfits for brothers seems like a thing.
And he's like, well, I left a pair of matching suits in one of the realms I watched over. We called it Old West Faerun. It was a beautiful place of outlaws and bandits. So yeah, there's absolutely another set there. Should be on a statue. He can totally wear it. It'll be good. No, it should fit him. It'll look great. You guys look like
it's a great place. I could take you there. I mean, once we get out of here.
Hey, that's an accent I know. You from Old West Faerun?
That I am.
I goes to high five you, realizes his hand is a scythe, and is like, "Ooh, yeah, sorry, it's been a while since I've had
elbows.
The limbs. It's stupid, not fleshy lightsaber hilts sucked. Oh, it's good to be back.
Okay,
I gotta take a wicked piss. I'm so sorry. I'll be back." And he just like marches outside happily, and you just hear, "Ha ha!"
Moonhammer, I am so sorry, but a dwarf took your armor and then the dimension got destroyed. So you don't have armor anymore. I have the only armor and it's his.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to deal with that. But first, Sensei said he was going to kill somebody for me. So I'm going to keep him to that promise so he can redeem himself in my mind, I guess. Is he still peeing and how is he holding it? Because he has two sizer hands.
It just comes back clearly wiggling back into his pants. Very good at it. And he's like, that was a holy experience for me. All in on redemption there, sis. I owe you for leaving you with that douchebag Captain Plantier, who I understand is fucking here and running around and stuff.
Oh yeah. We should probably kill him first.
Fuck.
Oh wait. So first thing we got to do is I've got these contracts, so we got to get them one of many faces so that Moonhammer's a god, and then two gods can fight another god. That seems smart. So I got all these, and he just takes out a collection of papers. He's like, is anyone a lawyer? Because I feel like I've got the gist, but I don't know the specifics.
Like a spindly finger raises from the back corner where he's been reading periodicals. And he says, pardon me, but yes, I am the lawyer.
Okay, great. Here you go. So I got a copy of one of Manny's. I call him Manny. One of the
funny. He would not like that.
Yeah, we should make that popular. So if you could just take a look at this contract and the other things that I've got. Also, I have this knife, and I don't know if that matters. And then I think Butthole and the lawyer have one of the classic everyone else could talk for a few minutes because Butthole's over and under explaining, but it's the only way anyone learns anything. So he'll just run through the contract wheel.
Which knife?
He has a black blade that the Lavender Man stabbed him with because he does not know if that is linked to the contract's powers or Manny. He just has it.
Right. Yes, he does. Great. Okay. So obviously we've got the gang back together and that's wonderful. We've had our tearful reunions. And now it's time to kind of figure out overall what our plan is going to be. You now have access to a tremendous amount of information between Sunscythe, Moonhammer, the lawyer, Butthole's contract knowledge, what Quinny and Reginald saw inside the tower. Juniper's just fucking here too, and that's great. Bunny Hops and Ball should be back soon, so you should have your key relatively soon. But you have all the information you kind of need. Essentially, the lay of the land is this. Manny has contracts with, has somehow found a way to become the patron saint and god of all of the devil's bargains that have been signed. He draws his power from them. If we were to look perhaps further into his genealogy, he is born of the greed and the desire of humans to have shortcuts. So he has managed to contract his way into becoming the god of this and has overtaken hell. Moonhammer allowed him to murder her so that she could go in search of the keys. However, it did mean sacrificing her godhead. So this is something she will need to recover in order to earn the rightful throne and thus be able to use the keys she has obtained. Also, Manny cannot be killed so long as his contracts stand. This is particularly a problem because if he does die, he'll respawn, but it might take a bunch of the people whose contracts were powering him with them. So to your point earlier, Tyler, about using people as fuel, your pals like Bucky might just blink out if he needs to draw on particularly powerful sources. Butthole, you are also under a sworn oath to save Yevgenovich, that little blue bastard, and get him back to Annan so we can meet his sweet baby. So that is yet another objective to add to the pile, despite the fact that he has killed your friends like Jill Hellbent.
But he was under somebody else's control. Butthole did things under other people's control.
Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, totally fine. If the Moonbeams can forgive you, Yevgenovich can probably get forgiven somewhere along the way. So main objectives: break Manny's contracts. Find a way to get Bucky out of his. You've done a lot of research into this, but over and above everything else, and I mean, this is less a Moonhammer thing, but for the rest of you, in absolute worst case scenario, you got to get Bucky out of this contract. If Manny can't be destroyed, you at least need to get Bucky out from under him, because he sacrificed himself in an attempt to save Quinny when Quinny didn't need saving. So at the very least you can do is save him. Sub-objective, get Yevgenovich. Moonhammer, you need to become queen again so that you can use your keys. However, you will still be anchored to this reality so long as Captain Plantier can hold any sway over the title of Celestial Husband. As a result, that thing's got to get annulled. Yeah. You got to get that divorce finalized. Also, Butthole has some objectives there too. You know that Captain Plantier cannot be destroyed at this point with any means you have, but you can definitely kick the shit out of him, and you can probably steal his stuff. So the important thing is less to destroy him, more to not get destroyed by him, and to annul the marriage. In terms of Manny, that motherfucker's got to go. Quinny and Reginald, you're both under contract to Baba Yaga to end this guy once and for all, let alone Quinny's additional ties to him. Juniper, you are also aware that restoring gods to their rightful realms will help slow the Great Collide and add massive stability. So though it's nice to have a god companion for now, getting Moonhammer and Sunscythe back to their respective realms is absolutely essential. If Moonhammer isn't in Buthala and Sunscythe is not in Pistlesium, truly the realms will suffer. So all of you have a vested interest in making sure these things happen. Yeah. It's all come down to this. What's your plan?
All right. So I hate to be the first one to talk, but I'm also kind of a general, says Reginald as he steps forward. And I think Butthole joins the group and he's like, oh, really? I'm a king. So this seems like a pretty good balance. Yeah. So I'm thinking if we start with the small things, we can work up to the big things. Because, I mean, if we can break the contracts for the blue weirdo and Pucky, then they can help us take out Manny. And if we could break those contracts, we know how to break the bigger contracts, because then we can break the little ones for the two people that you care about for some reason, and then we break the big contract, and then everybody can just stab Manny a whole bunch, and then you, Miss Moonhammer, you can become queen to replace Manny because he'll be fucked. And then you and Piss Friend can go just kick the shit out of that Captain Plantier guy, because we can have the lawyer work on the divorce shit after he sorts out the contracts, right? Does that make sense to everybody? This guy is pretty good. I'm impressed.
Oh no. That makes sense. I think I have something here that could help with that as well. And I pull out the scroll of information that Bucky provided me with details of the rebellion. The underground resistance.
Right. So it would seem that Bucky has found some loopholes. He can't actively, openly rebel against the One of Many Faces. However, he did find some gray area to exploit in the contract. So he has been contacting through kind of an underground network a number of useful souls and putting them to work for the cause. He can't quite explain why hell is underpopulated, but he has been careful about the intake and trying to get people assigned as they come in to useful means. Currently, dearly departed King Mudbutt is carrying out raids. Just, I would say guerrilla, but that seems too organized for him. So just like chaos
Well, I
raids.
think if you
Wanton.
imagine him as a literal gorilla storming into places and punching.
That's about right. So he's just been carrying out a string of seemingly completely unrelated attacks on Manny's borders, which haven't really caused much damage, but are so chaotic in nature that everyone is thinking a mastermind is behind them because they can't get the pattern right. Like it's a Zodiac situation with like, he must be a genius. It's like, or just kind of obvious and we're not really doing our jobs. I assume. I don't know. He's never caught. Ted Cruz, whatever. He's been carrying out a bunch of strikes that have been disrupting Manny's operations. So happily, a lot of Manny's forces are hunting down the one now known as Porky the Dark, because he seems to strike from the darkness and leave only a smell of pork and ham in his wake.
Ham and apples.
So Porky the Dark has been it's become like a legend amongst the Administratum troops.
I mean,
but
that's
of course,
pretty good. I would have gone with the pork Saken, but I think he's doing pretty all right.
Oh, damn, that's pretty good. Next time you meet him, you should tell him that. So he's been carrying out those strikes, which has been good. Juniper, you were meant to kind of it actually worked out pretty well. The goal was to send you into God Hell to try and help Moonhammer. Bucky was aware that Moonhammer let herself get killed, but has been stroking Manny's ego to make sure Manny feels like it was all him. But after Moonhammer didn't come back anytime soon, Bucky kind of assumed this was going to be like a couple-day thing, and then it stretched into much longer than that. So he got concerned and has been sending people down to help, including Bunny Hops, who is a lesser demon of minor filing that Bucky thought might be helpful down there. Manny has a sort of an elite squadron that Bucky is the head of. They're kind of like his royal guard. There is Bucky. There is Yevgenovich. There's Ambric Valathan, and there is Kenor Fadar. Ambric is like an expert sorcerer. Canon Fadar is a fanatic who dresses like a low-level peasant, carries a halberd dressed in just fabric, who just runs screaming at people. But has uncanny healing abilities. So not known for his combat skills, but is known for getting shot a bunch and then just getting back up and continuing to go to work. So between them, Yevgenovich, who's kind of like the berserker murderer of the team, and Bucky, who is theoretically like the secret weapon, they form his kind of elite guard. Captain Plantier is an entirely unknown factor that Manny has no relationship with. So that is an outlier.
Okay, so we kind of just have to hope to avoid him. So I guess the first question is, Mr. Lawyer Guy, we carried out of the library. What do you got for us in terms of contracts? How do we get our two friends, Pucky and... I'm not learning the other guy's name, but how do we get them out of their contracts?
Well, it would seem that your brother, I believe it is onto something. With these contracts you have. This black blade is very telling. This is a weapon generally used by the one of many faces. It is, in fact, a weaponized contract. Often it will, those wounded by it, if they die, they immediately enter the service of the one with many faces. You're very lucky to have not succumbed to this blade. There are several pieces of research you will need to do. There are several clauses you will need to break. But I will warn you, the one of many faces will throw everything he has against you while you research these things. So you must keep the people ensuring the loopholes are in fact loopholes safe. Clerical work is very particular, very slow. So you must protect them while they do this. Essentially, when you enter Manny's Citadel, you've been in the archive. You'll be entering the Hall of Active Record. This is an ever-living, essentially document mausoleum where Manny's top people ensure that all contracts are being upheld and that all, again, as the god of devil's bargains, that the devil's bargains themselves are being met. Now, he doesn't control every devil's bargain that has ever been made, but he does control a lot of them. So he has people constantly monitoring things. That said, this means that within the Hall of Record, there are all active contracts that are currently in play. Your goal, because we aren't going to spend a bunch of time RPing contract law, is to take the research that Butthole has done over the last 2 years and find the necessary precedent and the necessary clauses and loopholes hidden throughout the Hall of Record in order to make sure that your defense of the contract breaking is ironclad. In the case of Bucky, he clearly entered it under false pretenses. He believed that he was saving Quinny's life, when in fact Quinny had already signed with Baba Yaga. So by entering into it under false pretense, Bucky actually cannot be held to the contract. However, you will need to prove that within the Hall of Record. In terms of Yevgenovich and the rest of the contracts, the key will be
probably semicolons from what this guy said.
A lot of semicolon issues for sure, but also the fact that Manny is likely drawing power from a number of contracts he himself had no part in. If he had not chosen to become the god of contract law and devil's bargains, he would actually be pretty ironclad. But as soon as he kind of became the patron deity, it opened up a whole bunch of conflicts of interest, and he's likely drawing strength and godhead from contracts he had nothing to do with. So
he's got the power from all the contracts, but he's liable for all the flaws in all the contracts because now he's following God rules. That makes sense to me.
100%, yeah. And also, he didn't personally sign all of these. Like, he's drawing power from things that he didn't participate in, and he may not be aware that that is true, but by becoming the god of contract, yes, he's liable to all the flaws, and he is now open to a lot of like, well, I inherited all these. It's like, right, that's not your contract, then fuck off. So, very ironclad fantasy realm hell law at stake here, but also something that we can, I think, wrap our heads around for gameplay purposes. So essentially, you'll have to decide who is on contract breaking and who is on protection. Manny is going to throw everything in hell at you as you attempt to do this. So it'll be up to you to determine who is protecting who and who is doing the work.
Okay, an obnoxiously meta question, but also it just has to be asked. Tom, can we take a long rest before we go into the hell base? Like, can we take a sleep?
You are staging this strike.
Great.
So it is on your schedule, not mine.
I was thinking the same thing.
I just wanted to check because that's okay. We don't need to do that right now, but the idea is yes, we'll all have a rest, but we got to plan first.
No, I need my hit dice. I'm going to do a boss fight. Yes, that's totally reasonable.
Cool. All right, so I've got a weird idea here. This might just be something on the side, but I'm imagining that if we kill people in hell, that they just pop away and disappear. You're right. Yeah, it's bad. We destroy their souls. Okay, well, could we maybe, with your help, Mr. Lawyer person, whose name I don't know, could we come up with some sort of thing we could put on our weapons so that our weapons could be like contract weapons that say, if another contract is voided, this person's soul belongs to Moonhammer, so they don't just pop away and disappear. There's just kind of like a clause so that if we can win, all the innocent people we might have to kill, just, I don't know, go to Butthole or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to need a religion type check. But despite being a cleric, you're not really a religion-y guy. You're an insight guy.
No, I'm an insight guy.
So give me the insight. You can have advantage because your god is literally standing next to you, looking over your shoulder while you do this. Moonhammer, what do you say to inspire Butthole as he attempts to contractify all your weapons?
I'm just gonna put my hand on his shoulder and like nod approvingly.
Go ahead and have that blessed there, bud. As your hand like clanks against his armor.
That is
yeah, hammer on his shoulder, I guess.
Yeah.
17. I rolled very poorly, so this is all added up nicely. The highest roll I had was a 5, so thank you for the blessing, Amber.
Yeah, so you're able to transfer the black blade and kind of alter it. It adds kind of like an oil slick shimmer to your weapons. It will fade over time, but for the purposes of the assault on the Citadel, this will be fine.
Great. So, I mean, I love defending everyone, but I'm also very good at reading and investigation. So I am willing to go on either side of this. I'm also a coward, but I'm trying to do better. So would you rather I look at books, or would you rather I punch things, but theoretically be closer to the door?
Reginald, I think you and I should probably go look at the books. I think the two people with literal weapons for hands, plus the two people who can heal, should be the ones causing a great big ruckus and distraction.
Who's the second person who can heal?
The paladin. I look to.
I just raised my hand.
Oh yeah, I forget you can do that. It's very impressive, though. Okay, so we got two
Sometimes
people
forget
looking.
too.
She also forgot you existed for a while, but you don't know that. But we, the audience, sure do.
That's how I would split it up.
All right, but are you sure
Yeah.
you shouldn't be on the front line? Because technically, you're the king. I mean, I didn't die, but
He's the king now.
who?
Butthole is.
Oh wow. I mean, are you sure? Because I don't know how. Maybe you did a great job. We haven't had a chance to talk about this.
You've told me on multiple occasions that I'm a terrible king. We talked about
This
it.
is Butthole
No,
talking
I'm
to you
Butthole.
there, sir.
I'm
Oh,
Butthole.
sorry.
We
Sorry.
look alike, so it's tricky. So no, I'm Butthole, and I'm Reginald. Okay, so this is Butthole talking. I don't know why you're confused by this, but like we didn't talk about it. Did you? I imagine you did a great job. Like you probably sent a bunch of letters to people, and you're ruling a call already. Like it's probably
I
resolved.
didn't have a lot of time for letter writing. Don't even have the airship anymore. Couldn't even get out to a car.
Wait, so you didn't go there, and
Nope.
you didn't tell anyone?
No, the few people that I started to tell kind of were like, I don't believe you. And I was like, well, all right, this seems like a non-starter.
Oh yeah, the first time that we got along, says Reginald, was basically when I confronted him about being a terrible king, and then we almost killed each other. But then he agreed, and now we're fine. Oh wow, says Butthole. I was hoping. Well, if no one knows, do you want the job? Because I could coach you on how to do it. It feels weird to give you something and then take it back.
No. It's not for me. This was always your. Quinny like rolls his eyes and says, "Destiny to fulfill."
Oh wow. And do you still have? Oh, do you still have Moonlight Bringer and Toothy Hammer in my bag of holding?
I got your bag of holding right here. I mean, a couple things I think got lost along the way, but most of it's in there. And I'll toss the bag of holding over to Butthole. You got all your stuff there again. I can't remember if we talked about it or not, like in character, but all of Butthole's money went to some orphans.
Yeah, I gave it away. It's Reginald.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't remember if that was disclosed to Quinny, so I don't think Quinny knows. I think it's like, yeah, it's all there, man.
Take a finder's fee from that gold. It doesn't exist anymore.
Butthole like looks in and he looks at Hammer and Sickle and he's like, you did okay, but it's the real thing. And he just reaches in and he pulls out Moonlight Bringer and just like a choir sings, but it's all farts out of his butt, but they harmonize like, oh. And then he goes, it's you too. And he reaches in and takes out Toothy Hammer, which has no religious significance, but he still farts a tune for it, like, oh. I'm back.
And then
I'm poor. What happened to all my money? Oh, well, I gave that to a group of gnomish orphans that believe they're Quinny's friend now.
You what?
Oh, you are like the coolest brother ever. See, he's turning out great. Okay, so I'm the king, which makes Quinny an award statue.
50,000 gold.
Oh, no, it was 60. But
Quinny's like clutching his chest, like foam is coming out of his mouth.
don't worry. Quinny, you don't have to stress, because when we get to a car, I'll just give you first pick of the stuff out of the treasury. Then you'll be able to take all the stuff you need, because you'll get the first pick. I'm Butthole. It's going to be great.
I'm Butthole. It's going to be great.
Reginald seethes in the background. At which point, a sword comes flying through the hole in the wall and digs into the ground in front of you, Butthole. And looking down, you recognize Slaughter Gore. There is a puff of dark energy, and Vex Blackthorn grasps the haft, says, "Room for one more?" and flips it up onto her back. She goes, That's right, bitches. I'm a Devlington.
Oh, man, I love those Devlingtons. Hell yes, you're in. And if you do a great job, you could, I don't know, worship Moonhammer and live in a car. I don't give a shit. Friends.
I mean, sure, I don't want to do either of those things, but that all sounds great. Yeah. So it turns out Jim was like my, I don't know, my great cousin or something. Anyway, he died, but it means I get this cool sword now. So snicker snack, motherfuckers.
And then I think Butthole is just going to turn to the rest of the room and be like, all right, so we found Jim Devlington's cousin. Don't know how she found us, but this is a thing, apparently.
I'm
and then
vexing.
He looks out the hole in the wall and is like, anybody else's cousins?
And you see just little flaming ears kind of bounding towards you. No, not cousins, but perhaps helpful. Also, I brought an arch demon of hell. Here's Ball. And sure enough, like wearing his deflated water wings and like legitimately looking super tired. He's just like, we had to walk so far to get here. Hi, I'm Ball, bringer of darkness, king of skull. Honestly, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to. Just like sits down and just takes a load off, and he's like,
Kevin from The Office after he has to climb the stairs.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry. I'm normally a lot more impressive. I'm tuckered. No, he just starts like he points at Juniper. He's like, are you Moonhammer?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Shit. He points at Vex. He's like, are you Moonhammer? She's like, no, I'm Vex Blackthorn. Dash Devlington? Oh no, I haven't figured out the note. He's like, shut up.
Like Butthole will use thaumaturgy and just have 3 flames in the background just pop up behind Moonhammer dramatically, trying to like draw an arrow a little bit.
He's like, oh, okay, so you must be Fire Spring. Okay, cool. I think I've heard of you. And he points at Sun Scythe. He's like, Moonhammer, that's off brand. Oh shit, you've got hammers for hands. You're okay. Hey, hi. Bal, I have this contract that this weird little bunny fucko delivered to me. Yeah, I'm in. I'm honestly, if I can just sit this one out, I'll give you the key. I don't give a shit. I'd love to be king of this place though. So here you go. And he hands you the contract and the key.
Now we've got all 3.
Oh, also, I do have cousins. I just don't think they're here. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to ruin your thing. All right.
So, Ball, my name's Reginald Tingler, recovering coward. We're making a move against Manny, and if we fail, you probably don't do great.
I'm just out of key. I'm fine. I'm not getting involved in that shit at all. You go fight them all you like.
Damn, I was really hoping we'd get a big demon working with us.
Yeah, that'd be great. That really would fuck up the challenge rating, though. So no, I'm just gonna hang out down here. Challenge rating is how I think about fights. I was trying to figure out the angles. Does anybody have some water? I am fucking beat.
Yeah, Quinny will throw him a skin of water. You're like, all right, man.
He like pours it onto his tongue and just immediately hisses away. He's like, stupid devil tongue. Thanks. Thank you.
I'm gonna need that back.
Sheepishly sits down.
It's like, no, don't walk away. Get that back.
yeah, he does it back. All right. So you have your keys. You have your party. You have all the people you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom says before we go looking for more characters to join us.
Yeah, exactly. I want to find every single person who's ever died in the story and see where they are and what they've been up to this whole time and if they're willing to join us.
Yeah, Tom, you said we could do this on our own schedule.
Just
I need several months.
When she hasn't eaten in several days in the office, where she's just like,
I want to find the Nothic. What's the Nothic been up to?
Oh no.
Nothing. King.
I want Kaglock.
Look, they all went to different
I have to make
hells
amends for that still.
All right, so
Alan has to make amends for that.
I think I might have missed it, but what was the final word on creating our own contract weapons?
That happened. We oil slicked them, so we can kill with impunity because theoretically the souls will be saved after.
I have cool contract jargon names to bestow upon our weapons if you want. Some of these
fucking cool. Obviously we want.
Quinny. you're the court jester, and you've got things to say. So let's get it out here, tell them jokes, and name all the new weapons.
Who wants, one of you holy folks, who wants bona fide? It's Latin for in good faith.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, bona fide fists of Moonhammer.
Yeah.
Firstborn twin always picks first. Yeah, okay, what else you got?
I like snap my finger and like frostbite springs up into my hand and like put the oil on it. It was like, I present to you breach of contract.
Reginald's like, everyone back up for a second because I can't do this subtly. And everyone does. And he summons the teleport sword and appears like a foot to his left in an explosion. And he's like, what about this one?
That'd have to be arbitration. It's a method of dispute resolution. And like when he like wiggles his eyebrows as he says that.
Oh, yeah, that feels right. That feels real good.
All right. Who's next?
Oh, do you know what? And then he pulls out his flaming hammer and he's like, I'll just call these both the arbitrators.
Perfect.
I mean, I've got my blade. This one.
Perfect. How about damages? Feel good? It's got extra meaning there now.
Sure, yeah.
And then, what about Moonlight Bringer? Though, admit it. Wait, no, there's someone here I can ask. Moonhammer, is it against the rules if I have like a temporary name for a Moonlight Bringer that's not Moonlight Bringer? Because I don't want to mess with any of your relics. I just want to do good for you.
I will allow it.
Ah, cool.
When he like finger snaps force majeure.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And these are alphabetized, so I was in the D's when I gave up damages. But if you want something cool like indemnity as like a badass name for your sword, Juniper, that's up for grabs as well.
I kind of like damages.
I like damages too, but I was worried it was too like on the nose.
No, I like that for you.
No.
And then I think we could use indemnity for Sunsight. That's your name, right?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
All right. You could be double indemnity. Yeah,
Great
perfect.
minds. All right.
We spent a lot of time literally in each other's brains.
Yeah, we did.
All right. I'm not going to remember everyone else's weapon names. Write down your own weapon names. If you want to say a cool contract line when you kill someone, it's on you. You got to remember your own shit.
That's it. And that's how it became a court jester thing right at the end. You're the best jester, Quinny. I don't know why. Do you know what? I know why I made you king and you would have been great. But I think in the end, it's probably best that you're the jester because you tell that truth that people don't want to face. And Juniper, who's my hand?
I am. That's me.
That's right. And you don't have any other ranks that you've earned since that time, right?
I'm also a sheriff.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a shithole town, but I'm still the sheriff.
We'll call you the Handsy Sheriff.
Did miss you, Butthole.
I missed you too.
And with that, the Dum-Dums, their godly pals, their long-lost cousin of a dead friend, and their tiny little bunny companion, storm Manny's Citadel in an attempt to end the one of many faces, a bad marriage, and the worst of devil's bargains once and for all.
But first, a long rest.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Elizabeth at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons logo is by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker on Twitter. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christian Menicola, Long Long, The Half-Blind Prophet, James Cuellar, Charles Grams, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, One True Artistry, Orion Birchfield, Lord of Bradovic, Noel Lewis, Scott Garland, Anthony Griffin, Chet Awesome Laser, Jordan Neesmith, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Taryn Hefner, Cade Peters, Richard Cranium, Christian Mendez, Anna Zed, Eric Williams, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Great Dane, Acrix, Cameron Ezel, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.